Imagine waking up one morning and hearing that the most powerful country on Earth has just lost a war. Not a small conflict, not a distant skirmish hidden from the headlines, but a war so significant that it shakes the global balance of power overnight. For decades, the United States has been seen as an unstoppable military giant, a nation with the most advanced weapons, the largest defense budget, and alliances that stretch across the entire planet. But what if that image is starting to crack? What if the next war America fights doesn't end the way people expect? Some analysts and military experts are quietly warning that the world is entering a completely new era of warfare, an era where billion-dollar fighter jets can be threatened by weapons that cost only a few $1,000s, where giant armies struggle against enemies who don't fight by traditional rules, and where economic pressure can be just as devastating as bombs. And here's the twist. Many experts believe the United States is dangerously unprepared for this new reality. What nobody expected was that the very strengths that once made America unstoppable might now become its biggest weakness. Because the next war may not be about who has the biggest military. It may be about who understands the battlefield of the future. And if the warnings coming from some strategic thinkers are correct, the outcome could shock the entire world. To understand why some people believe America could actually lose its next major war, we first need to step back and look at how the United States became the world's dominant superpower in the first place. After the end of the Second World War, America emerged stronger than any nation on Earth. While Europe and Asia were rebuilding their shattered cities, the United States had a booming economy and a powerful military machine. Over the following decades, it built hundreds of military bases across the globe and formed alliances that placed it at the center of international politics. Then came the Cold War. For nearly half a century, the United States and the Soviet Union competed for global influence. It was a dangerous period filled with nuclear threats, proxy wars, and technological rivalry. But when the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, the United States stood alone as the world's only superpower. Many believed this dominance would last forever. America's military spending became larger than that of the next several countries combined. Its aircraft carriers could project power anywhere on the planet. Its fighter jets dominated the skies, and its intelligence agencies monitored threats across continents. For years, it seemed like no country could challenge the system. But history has a strange way of changing the rules when people least expect it. Over the last 2 decades, warfare has started to evolve in ways that traditional superpowers struggle to adapt to. Instead of massive armies facing each other across battlefields, conflicts are becoming more unpredictable. Smaller nations and non-state groups have learned that they don't need to defeat America directly. They only need to make war so expensive and complicated that the United States cannot sustain it. This strategy has been tested before. In Afghanistan, the United States spent 20 years fighting an enemy that had far fewer resources. Yet despite trillions of dollars and advanced technology, the war ended without the clear victory many expected. In Iraq, the removal of a government quickly turned into a long and costly occupation. These conflicts revealed something uncomfortable. Winning battles is not the same as winning wars. And now several potential rivals are studying these lessons very carefully. Countries like China, Russia, and Iran are investing heavily in new forms of warfare designed specifically to counter America's traditional strengths. Instead of matching the United States weapon for weapon, they are focusing on strategies that exploit weaknesses in the American system. But here's where the story becomes even more intense. One of the biggest changes in modern warfare is the rise of inexpensive technology that can challenge extremely expensive military systems. Take drones, for example. A sophisticated American fighter jet can cost more than $100 million, but a small attack drone can be built for a tiny fraction of that price. And when hundreds of these drones are launched together, they can overwhelm even advanced defenses. Military strategists call this asymmetric warfare. In simple terms, it means using cheap, flexible tools to defeat powerful but expensive systems. And this approach is spreading rapidly. Some defense experts warn that in a future conflict, swarms of drones could attack military bases, ships, and infrastructure simultaneously. Even if most of them are destroyed, the sheer number could make defense extremely costly. Imagine spending millions of dollars in missiles to destroy drones that cost only a few thousand each.
Over time, that imbalance becomes unsustainable. But drones are only part of the story. Modern warfare is also shifting into cyberspace. Instead of tanks rolling across borders, attacks can now target financial systems, energy networks, and communication infrastructure. A well-planned cyber attack could shut down power grids, disrupt banking systems, or paralyze transportation. And unlike traditional warfare, these attacks can happen instantly and anonymously. This means a war could begin without a single missile being launched. But the most dangerous challenge may be economic. For decades, the global financial system has revolved around the US dollar. Many international trade deals are conducted using American currency, giving the United States enormous influence over the world economy. However, some countries are now trying to build alternative financial systems. If major nations begin trading energy and resources outside the dollar system, it could weaken one of America's most powerful tools. And this is where geopolitical tensions start to connect. Rising powers are forming partnerships designed to reduce their dependence on Western institutions. Energy deals, technology sharing, and military cooperation are creating new alliances that could reshape global power structures. But here's the twist nobody expected. The United States is still incredibly powerful. Its military technology, intelligence networks, and alliances remain unmatched in many ways. Yet power alone does not guarantee victory. History shows that even the strongest empires can struggle when the nature of warfare changes faster than their ability to adapt. The Roman Empire once controlled vast territories with unbeatable legions, but as new tactics and pressures emerged, maintaining that dominance became harder and harder. Some analysts believe the United States may be facing a similar challenge, not because it is weak, but because the battlefield itself is transforming. Future wars might not be decided by massive invasions or dramatic tank battles. Instead, they could unfold through economic disruption, cyber attacks, information warfare, and technological swarms. And in that kind of conflict, traditional military superiority might not be enough. The emotional weight of this possibility is enormous. For many Americans, the idea that their country could lose a war feels almost impossible. Generations have grown up believing that the United States always prevails when its security is threatened. But the soldiers, analysts, and policymakers who study modern warfare know that victory is never guaranteed. War is unpredictable. It tests not only weapons and armies, but also resilience, adaptability, and national unity. If the United States ever faced a conflict where multiple challenges happened at once, cyber attacks at home, economic pressure abroad, and unconventional tactics on the battlefield, the strain could be unlike anything the country has experienced before. Families would feel the consequences, economies could shake, alliances might be tested in ways never seen before, and the psychological impact could be just as powerful as the military one. Because losing a major war doesn't only change borders, it changes how the world sees power. But perhaps the most important question is this: is such a defeat inevitable? Not necessarily. Many experts argue that the warnings about America losing a future war are not predictions, they are alarms meant to encourage change. The United States still has enormous resources, innovative industries, and some of the most skilled military planners in the world. If the country adapts quickly, investing in new technologies, strengthening alliances, and preparing for unconventional threats, the outcome of future conflicts could look very different. In fact, history shows that nations capable of learning from past mistakes often emerge stronger. The real danger comes when powerful countries believe they cannot be challenged, because overconfidence can be more destructive than any enemy. Right now, the world is entering a period of rapid transformation. New technologies, shifting alliances, and economic competition are rewriting the rules that governed international power for decades. Whether America loses or wins the wars of the future will depend on decisions being made today. Decisions about strategy, about innovation, and about understanding that the battlefield of tomorrow will look nothing like the wars of the past. One thing is certain: the next major conflict will not just determine the fate of a single nation, it could reshape the global order in ways that affect every country on Earth. And that's why the debate about America's future in war is becoming louder every year. Because somewhere behind closed doors in military headquarters and government offices, leaders are asking the same unsettling question: when the next great war arrives, will the United States still be ready?